Hi everyone. So I have tried to connect again. If someone can let me know if the connection is any better now, because I'm using my Geo network now. So I've switched over from my Airtel internet connection. So if somebody can please confirm whether this is better. Okay, this is great. Okay, thank you so much for that confirmation, Shubhra. So I'm really sorry that we had, the technical glitches, they're always there when we have to do something online. So coming back to where I was, I did see a couple of comments where people said that they missed, something. So basically, I'll just, quickly just do a recap of what I was saying then. So we are here to talk about inculcating critical thinking in children and creative writing skills as well. Now, yes, I was talking about what is critical thinking exactly. And I said that critical thinking is the ability to reflect, to think, to absorb the surroundings, and to have one's own opinion and analysis of a certain situation. Now, why doesn't that happen in children? Because, see, I work extensively with kids. Every day I interact with number of kids. And I often hear from parents that, my child is not a critical thinker. He doesn't really spend time to reflect on things or, is not an independent thinker. But have we realized that, as adults, have we given an opportunity to the children to actually develop this critical thinking? So I think the first step that we all need to take as adults, as parents or teachers or any other role that we play, is to let kids express their opinion about any matter, for that. So for example, I was talking about the incident with my child when I read the story of Cinderella to her, and she immediately told me that she feels that the story is silly, and she feels that the end is really weird, where why should somebody just marry a prince because a shoe fit, and that shoe could fit so many women, right? She was like, how is that a proof in any way? So she was thinking logically, she was applying her reasoning there, and she's a 5-year-old child. So that is what is critical thinking, where you can apply your own reasoning, logic, and your perception in every situation in life. It does not necessarily have to be about solving problems, but it is also about the way we look at everything that happens in our life, whatever we read, whatever we come across, anything that we hear. So tell me something, the parents who are watching, or even the teachers maybe. So how many times it happens that our child may refute something that we say, like maybe humne kuch bola hai, and the child is like, no, I don't think it's like that. And how many times do we patiently allow them to refute us? How many times we don't take it on our ego ki, bas bola na aise hi hai, and we sometimes even lose our patience when we are trying to explain something. What happens then? That is what actually curbs their critical thinking ability, because the moment they try to come into their own, we try to, we just try to tell them that, okay, bhai, bacche ho, bacche ki tarah raho. But I think we all need to realize that children are actually, I always tell this to even the parents of the kids who attend my classes, that we have to treat them like little adults. Yes, they are young, they're still forming an opinion about many things, but trust me, there's, if kids are allowed to be by themselves, and if they're allowed to think about things, they actually have critical thinking in them already. They have that ability to question things. Everything is there. It's just that we as adults, try to curb it down for different reasons. So I think that is the first thing that we need to do, is stop curbing them. And, we need to allow them to ask as many questions as possible. There is no silly question. There is nothing random. Let them ask questions. Let them share their opinion about any matter. It could be politics. It could be something related to the world. I get perspective on so many things about life, from my child who's just 5 years old. So please let them do that. Don't curb. So the next time, suppose they are saying that you are wrong in doing something, let them, express. As long as they are very respectful in the way they express anything, I think we should let them, we should involve them. So many times it happens, that हम लोग बच्चों को involve नहीं करते, right? Like we say that ये बड़ों की बातें इसमें मत आओ. If there is, suppose even if there's a problem, that we are talking about or we are dealing with, we don't involve the kids. Then suddenly we expect them to become critical thinkers, so that doesn't happen. Involve your child at a level that they can understand, that they can relate to, but they feel then that, yes, my parents consider me as an individual with a thought process of my own, and that's why they are involving me in even the small decisions of the family. You know what happens? I sometimes take my daughter's opinion on something as simple as, say, suppose we are going to buy something and I tell her, okay, Ashi, what do you think? Should we, her name is Ashi, and I say that, okay, should we go for this or should we go for that? So it is a small thing, but the more you involve them in any kind of decision making in the family, the more you involve them in the discussions of the family as much as possible, I think it is wonderful for them, and it gives them a sense of agency. Because, see, at the end of the day, though we may feel that, our children are kids and they are extensions of us, but in reality, children are nothing but, they are individuals with their own mind, with their own thought process, and this is something that we all need to understand and accept and act accordingly. So, this is about, how we can give them the freedom to develop that critical thinking. Now, there are many other ways, by which kids can actually develop this critical thinking, creative writing skills. Now, what happens is, in today's times, I do see that children are so busy. They have so much to do, they have a very strict kind of a routine. What happens when, and I know that, see, kids are suckers for routine. They, of course, they work best when they have a certain routine. They know when they have to do what. But at the same time, I think we are over planning for them. So I think what we should avoid is over planning, because what happens is the more we give them the freedom to explore, to maybe, to indulge in some kind of a creative activity just for the pleasure of it, or anything else which gives them enjoyment. It could be maybe solving a puzzle. It could be anything else. I think they need time for that, right? Your mind should be free of the burdens of homeworks, assignments, and, so many more things, maybe classes. So it is very important to realize that, to develop critical thinking, we need to give that kind of a space in the mind also. So don't over plan their schedule. It is good to keep them busy, of course, and engrossed, and it is great if they learn multiple things. But at the same time, we should avoid the over planning, because only when they get time and, that kind of a mental space will they actually spend time to maybe, learn a new activity. Maybe they'll do some kind of problem solving, say in a game, or they could do a puzzle, anything. All of these activities are actually wonderful for developing their critical thinking abilities. So please plan their schedule in a way that they get this breather. So that really helps the child. The third thing, that we can do as adults to develop the critical thinking ability is what happens, that when we talk to children, our talks are a lot of times, limited to, say, what is happening in school, or, generally, about their, maybe the schoolwork or something they're playing or something related to their friends. But I think we also need to have more conversations which encourages them to maybe think and give an opinion, like it could be anything, maybe you could share something about your life with them, or maybe just talk something silly, maybe someday just think and talk about, why do you think the rainbow has these colors only, you don't have to give like a proper answer, but it's just about that thought process of about thinking in a certain direction. The kids sometimes may not do this all by themselves, and that is where our conversation conversations also should help them to lead to think in a certain way. So whenever you talk to them, don't limit it to just, the day to day and the mundane and the routine stuff, but also talk to them about silly things, about life, about so many other things which can actually, kind of encourage them to think out of the box, or, which can encourage them to think in a way they wouldn't do otherwise. Because that is important, and that will come from us, as parents and teachers, because we are the ones who are guiding them, and we are the ones they look up to. So if we get involved in these kind of conversations, they also show the interest, and they also start thinking accordingly, and something really amazing might come out of it. So don't hesitate to get silly with the children. We have to get there. And honestly, in my opinion, there is no silliness. As I said at the beginning, every thought process is important. All the whys, whats, hows, wins, everything is important. Anything that is raised by the child, or anything that we talk to them, there's no silliness in anything. Actually, it is all important to develop that critical thinking. Now, this is about critical thinking, how we can actually encourage them to think in a certain way, how we can actually treat them as individuals with a thought process, and then give them the agency to decide for themselves, to express their opinions, to show them two sides of a coin, and let them take their own decision. Sometimes I feel that we try to solve the problem of children, and I think that is something we should avoid beyond a point. Suppose your child is having an argument with a friend, so don't get too involved in trying to solving that problem for them. Maybe, just try to balance it a little, like maybe say that, okay, I think you could do this, but if you do this, maybe this could happen, kind of like give them the pros and cons, give them both the sides, but let them decide for themselves, right? Let them learn with mistakes. At times I think we adults worry too much about children making mistakes. I think we should allow them to make mistakes, and only then they're going to develop the confidence and, develop their own independent thinking about things. So allow them to make mistakes. Don't go and solve everything for them. Rather, give them the different ideas, be there as a support, but let them take their decisions. And this has to start early, not suddenly when they become, say, 18-year-old. So these are the things that we can do. Now, coming to creative writing. Now, this is something almost a lot of parents come and tell me my child doesn't read books, or, my child doesn't want to write. Whenever we ask them to write, he just write some 3-4 lines and just leaves. Now what is really the issue here? I mean, tell me something. How many of you all have probably a child who doesn't want to read or doesn't want to write? Like if you can post in the comments if you have a child who's not much into reading or avoids writing. You can just comment and I'll be able to view your comments. Okay, so basically now what the thing is, what happens with children is that we make these activities very typical for them. Now, for example, I see that a lot of times, what do we do? Like, when we have to ask the child to write, we give a topic. We say that, okay, now you go and write something on this. Like, write on life in times of Corona. That must be like a favorite topic. What are you doing during this lockdown? We don't realize that, see, this can be boring for children, right? I mean, wahi same cheez, wahi topic de do, phir, wahi likho, phir uske baad us topic pe. We have to make this interesting for them. Tell me something, if, if we have not really spent on developing the reading and writing habit at a young age, then all of a sudden, say when a child is 8 or 10 years old, that happens a lot, like a lot of parents, when they enroll their kids for my classes, they say that the child doesn't read now because, that habit has to be developed from the beginning. And so it's not the child's fault. It's the way we are approaching it with the children, So suppose somebody is not used to it, and then suddenly when they are a little bit grown up, we expect that, okay, you should now read, you should now write. It doesn't work that way, right? So firstly, this has to be developed right from the beginning with your involvement. We cannot escape from our involvement. We have to read aloud to our children to develop a love for books. Also, when it comes to writing, we have to again be involved with the children. Now, there are many things that one can do to develop a love for language, books, writing. I will talk about some very simple 4 to 5 things that you can try out with your children. Now, the first thing is, please don't make the process of giving a topic and writing about it very mundane for them. Like, for example, what are you doing during the lockdown? See, kids, they have so much going on in your head. I said that at the beginning of the session as well, that, that the imagination of children, it starts where the imagination of adults ends. So if we just ask them to write on something like, what are you doing during the lockdown? It's going to be boring for them, right? I mean, they need some kind of a good fuel. They need fuel for their imagination. उनको कुछ interesting देना पड़ेगा हमें, तभी उनको उसमें, उनको भी interest आएगा. So the first and foremost thing, get them to write, or get them to express about something which can be interesting, and for that try to give them some different kind of prompts. Like, I'll give an example. What you can do is, maybe you can cut out some pictures from, say, an old magazine and put those pictures and ask the child ki kya lagta hai isse kya story ban rahi hai, so that will make it that will arouse their interest. The other thing you can do, where you can involve yourself, is you can actually start a story. Say that, okay, today mama and, child are going to write a story together. Start a story that, okay, this is what happens, and ask them to now continue and finish it. So there you get involved. So their interest also develops, right? So these are the ways you can try to give them some different kind of prompts. Now, even when, say, somebody goes on a trip, so what we tell the kids that, okay, yeah, please write about the trip. Again, it can become boring. But when you actually discuss your experiences, the way the child felt at different, maybe while doing some activity or while visiting a certain place, talk to them, live those experiences again with them, that will actually, encourage them to express more, that will actually encourage them to put their thoughts into words. So try these ways of giving them prompts or topics to, write on. Now, secondly is, of course, reading and writing have to go hand in hand. I cannot stress enough on the importance of books. I personally feel that books are for our minds, just like what food is for our body, it's something like you have to do on a regular basis. And just like the benefits of food don't show immediately after one session of eating, similarly, the advantages of books don't show up after just one session of reading. It has to be like a regular habit. It has to be something which we do on a day-to-day basis. Now, if your child doesn't read, you read out to them, and trust me, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि अरे my child is 10 years old, मैं कैसे read out करूं, या वो बच्चा थोड़ी है. No, there is no age. Yeah, so just go. If you think your child is not showing the interest, you read out, उसको interest आएगा. Another option to develop their interest is, say, after reading a story, talk to them about ki how do you feel that maybe end agar aisa hota to kaisa hota, like can you suggest an alternate ending to the story, so tab unko interest aa jata hai. Then maybe what you can do is allow them to select their books. And this is another mistake that we all make, that we feel that, okay, now the child is 10 years old, bacche ko Harry Potter padhna chahiye. No, there is no age for anything they want to read, so allow them to choose the books of their choice. In fact, till today, I love reading comics, and I love reading some of the books which I read with my 5-year-old. So please do not limit them to something which is like, ye age ke liye ab tum bade ho gaye ho. Just let them read whatever they want. It's more about their habit, and every kind of reading is an experience which enriches us, right? So, and yes, like Shubhra says, I agree with parent involvement in making the child read books. Yes, it's absolutely important. So parents, we cannot escape it. We are the ones who can make it happen. And then slowly, see, once the child gets into that mode, then you will realize that independently, they are reading, writing and doing everything. But that initial effort should come from our side. One really amazing way to, again, develop a love for language in them, though it's not directly related to writing and reading, but it does impact and enhance both, their reading and writing skills, and that is vocabulary building. So play games as a family, play Scrabble, and there are like not just Scrabble, there are hordes of other games which improve the word knowledge. Play games together as a family. You can do something simple like a word antakshari, where I start a word and then with the last alphabet you give a word. So play these games. So what happens when you do that is it becomes fun for the child. The child develops a love for the words and language, and automatically somehow it does impact the interest they have for reading and for writing, because see, again, the knowledge of language is an integral part of both the written expression as well as how we assimilate the books we read. So that is another thing that we need to do, that play games together as family. And trust me, they will not just learn, but you will create such amazing moments for life together. So these are some of the ways, like in which you can get them to write, you can get them to read. And one more thing you can do is this has helped, like, so for example, I take creative writing classes. So maybe you can enroll them for some of these really good creative writing classes in your city or any workshop. Usse kya hota na, sometimes the child shows interest in a certain kind of a setup, when they have kids around, and when they have a teacher kind of explaining something, or the way they get the different prompts there, the way they are taught different things over there in an interesting way. So sometimes these kind of workshops and classes really helps a lot. So if you can actually find one in your city or online, then definitely go for it, because that also will help your child to develop. Like, for example, if I talk about myself, I always take this holistic approach towards developing a critical approach to analyze any situation in them, to boost their imagination, to discuss books so that their reading comprehension and ability to understand that improves. And of course their the written expression, of course, that is primarily what I work on. So I think all of this is related. It all goes like together. So reading, writing, thinking, it is all a package, and we need to build on it together. So please get involved, try these little tips, and you will realize that learning becomes fun for the child. And and you should allow it to happen gradually. So aisa mat socho ki one day the child doesn't write that well, to nahi hoga, aise nahi hota. It's a very creativity, thought processes, these develop over time. So it will happen over time. Give the child that kind of freedom. So I hope that whatever I spoke about today was helpful. So touch me, I have so trust me, I have actually just touched the tip of the iceberg. Actually, there is so much one can talk about when it comes to creative writing, when it comes to reading, when it comes to critical thinking, but because of the limited time that we have, I have just touched upon the key aspects. And of course, please, if there are any questions, please ask me. I am here to answer all your questions related to everything that I spoke about, or anything which you want to know more. Please do put in your questions. Thank you, Pooja, and thank you, Shubhra. And yes, one more point, just related to this. Many parents ask me that sometimes our children write and they lose interest, and sometimes it's like a writer's block. So how to get it back? Now there are two things here which I suggest. One is, if the child is not really interested to write, say, a story or something really heavy duty, get them to write a letter. It is always easier to write a letter, because there you're kind of expressing your emotions and it comes in flow. And once the words start flowing, the barrier breaks. The second idea which I usually give people is, ask them to write about their thoughts itself. Suppose they are not understanding what to write. So the other day, one of my students wrote a poem about that only, that, it was a very nice, fun poem. And the child wrote about how he just doesn't know what to write. And it was a poem on that topic. So there are many ways by which they can express their creativity. So yes, just it's all about exploring. So I see a question about suggesting books as an introduction to books for toddlers. Now, I assume that by toddlers, probably you mean like, maybe 2, 3, 4 years of age. So there are many books, of course, I'm sure. So for toddlers, the visual. So at that age, they go a lot by the visuals, basically in the books, what they see. It should be attractive for them. So go for any good. So if you go on Amazon, just choose the good picture books. Particularly, I would like to recommend here books from Pratham Books. It's a publication house. So please do go and check. They are really amazing. Pratham Books, Katha Books, Karadi Tales, Tara Books. These are all Indian publication houses which are doing exemplary work on children's literature, and trust me, I feel they deserve a lot more hype than they get, because we are always only reading the foreign authors, which is wonderful. We can read them, but there are many Indian authors, and what happens is sometimes children, they develop an interest when they read something which they can relate to. Kabhi kabhi kya hota hai, I see that some children are like, abhi pata nahi hai kaun foreign author ka context thoda different hota hai, so they don't relate, they don't understand. So these publication houses are actually writing really diverse tales and very, inclusive kind of tales with great messages in a very nice way, and they have like really lovely picture books. So, so please try those. I'm sure the toddler will love it, because my child is now 5.5, and I have gone through that phase. So those books, of course, so I know everybody knows about the Peppa Pig books and, Ben and Holly. So I'm not going there because that's something really known. These publication houses, please do try. The books are different and they are really good. So I hope you will find. I'm sure you will find them on Amazon. So yeah, I hope that helps and answers your question, Shubhra. Any other question? Please feel free to ask. And also, yes, since I was talking about the Indian publication houses, now there is a reason I stress on the Indian publication houses is because, firstly, I think that yes, we should, bring our Indian authors to limelight more, because of course, they are our authors, they are from our motherland. Secondly, like I just said a while back, that a lot of times, children don't relate. There was a very interesting thing someone said. So there was a literature fest, Belong Lit Fest, which I was recently attending. And one of the panelists in that literature festival said a very interesting thing, that you have to find yourself sometimes in some books to be able to develop an interest. He was like pancakes and all that. And I was like, what is all that? See, sometimes, stories are about finding yourselves in them. So not always, of course, but at times that's how kids develop an interest. So it has happened with many of my students who never used to read because they were given the typical, the foreign authors which are found everywhere. Then I said, okay, you try these Indian author books. And they were just hooked because they found themselves in those books. So, it is very important for you to understand your child's mindset, that what is your child liking, what is that your child will relate to. Suppose a child loves fantasy, then let them read all fantasy, so it's very important to understand at a certain age. And see, the interest of kids, the way they perceive things, all this keeps changing, right? Of course, because they are growing, so their interest will also keep changing. So it is very important for us to be very attuned to the changes that are happening in their head, and to understand. We also as parents need to be very perceptive to understand, okay, so this is probably what my child enjoys now, this is probably what my child may want to read now. Okay, Pooja says a very interesting point, that I ask my children to mark words which they find boring. Okay, that's actually quite interesting, And one more thing, I would like to say that, there is this, actually Pooja's comment reminded me of that many times we tell children like कि जो word समझ में नहीं आए book में वो underline करो, उसका meaning पता करो, list बनाओ. है ना? So this is a very typical way we ask them to improve their vocabulary. But again, even that process can be sometimes boring, So and that is why I suggested fun games for vocabulary building, because the retention is better जब हम fun way में we build our vocabulary. So this is my theory that, in our brain, we have two sections for vocabulary. One is the active vocabulary section and one is the passive. The active one is full of the words which we used on, on a daily basis, the ones which we used in writing or talking. But the passive one is the one in which there are words which we know, but we don't use them, it just doesn't come naturally to us. So what happens when we play these vocabulary building games is that slowly the words start moving from passive to the active area, and new words enter the passive area. So that's how your overall, the vocabulary knowledge improves and vocabulary building happens. And, see, like I said, to make it fun and the retention, see, ultimately we want them to remember the words. We want them to understand them in a certain context and, be able to use it in their conversations or in their writing. So for that to happen, if we just go by a very typical approach of underlining words, writing it and remembering the meaning, it doesn't help as much. So please play games with them. They can also play with their friends, and there are so many, like I said, if you Google, you will find loads of games. So yes, please make it all fun for them. Okay, so I guess that's about it. Looks like I'm not sure if there are any more questions. I'm here, like maybe I'm just keeping a track of the the comments on the video. Okay, so I guess we are done then. Thank you so much, everyone, for having me here and for listening to me. And I hope I could be of some help. And as I said, these are just some basic things that we can do, and they will definitely go a long way in shaping up our kids to be the kind of individuals we want them to be. So, yeah. Okay. So thank you, Shubhra, and thank you, Pooja, and thank you everybody else who joined. Take care. Bye, and stay safe. I think that's the most important thing today that all of us can tell each other. So please stay safe. And yes, as Shubhra said, this video is obviously, kind of going to be available later also. So you can just, keep adding your questions whenever you watch, and Shubhra will tag me and I will respond. Thank you. Bye.